Good day. This is Tour and Travel Management, your Module 1 and 2, the Introduction and History of Tour and Travel Management. I am your instructor, Gabriel Custodio. Our Module 1 and 2 is Tourism Basics. Module 3 is about the tourism destination. Module 4 is the Managing Tourism, and Module 5 will be our Tourism Impact, Trends, and Future. For our Module 1 and 2, which is Tourism Basics, consists of Introduction to Tourism, Types of Tourism, Tourism Terminology, Factors Affecting Tourism, Demand of Tourism, Motivation Factors of the Tourist, the Maslow Pyramid of Motivation, and Consumers' Behavior in Tourism. So let's start with the Introduction to Tourism. Let's start with St. Augustine's quote. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. For me, travel is an opportunity to read the world. On each page, you might find a new taste, flavor, scent, vision, or sounds that will make your world a richer place. On each page, you might meet new people, from new relationship, find and discover new languages. Of course, you will enjoy some pages more than the others. But even the part you don't enjoy at the time may have profound effect on your later part in life. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. For the most part, travel is a fantastic experience. Seeing new places, be they man-made structures or areas of outstanding natural beauty, can be truly inspirational. From the Taj Mahal to the Grand Canyon, from Kilimanjaro to Sagrada Familia, our planet is endowed with an innumerous array of jaw-dropping sights. From a more practical perspective, being able to organize all aspects of a trip is a valuable life skill. Booking flight and accommodation is but the tip of the iceberg. The seasoned traveler has a full itinerary and knows where to find the best bars and restaurants and the best deals of transport, food, and activities. Pre-departure preparation includes finding out about vaccinations, visa restrictions, and local language and currency. On topic of language, travel offers the perfect opportunity to chat or at least communicate with someone who is different with a cultural background. Discovering common words or pattern is a treat for any linguist, as is picking up the basic of previously unknown tongue. Being able to say thank you or kapun kap to a local shopkeeper or order your coffee indicates that you are engaging with the world around you and making an effort to communicate in a language not your own. Not only does seeing a different country open your mind to new possibilities, it also helps you to see your own country or city with fresh eyes. You are more likely to notice everything that you previously took for granted. All the strange linguistic or cultural quirks that you thought were universal. More than ever before, young people today have the opportunity to travel and see new places. Cheap flights, relaxed visa, restrictions, and greater exposure to new culture means it has never been easier to travel. Taking a break from work or study, or even working or studying abroad, has never been more popular. Young people in particular are keen to sample a new culture and try to get to grips with a second or even third language. The benefits are both personal and professional. All in all, traveling offers 1,000,001 different experiences. Some positive, some less so, but all will help you develop as a person. Travel offers an opportunity to see new things, but also to see old things in new ways. Learning a language is a life skill that will help you to communicate, but also understanding people and points of view that you may never have otherwise experienced. And for me, that means a lot. The world is a book, and those who don't travel read only one page. Tourism has turned out to be an economic booster contributing to the economic development of many countries over the last few decades. People see holidays as necessity and not as luxury in the present scenario. Tourism calls for coordination and cooperation between travel agents, tour operator, and tourists. Tourism has a few major elements. First will be the destinations, attractions, sites, accommodation, and all ancillary services. Ancillary services. Ancillary services is used to refer to a variety of operation beyond generation and transmission that are required to maintain grid stability and security. This service generally includes frequency control, spinning reserves, and operating services. So, what is tourism? Tourism involves the activity of people traveling and staying in a place away from their home environment for leisure, business, and other purposes. Mathians and Wall define tourism as follows: the temporary movement of people to destination outside their usual places of work and residence, the activities undertaken during their stay in those destinations, and the facilities created to center to their needs. Tourism was mainly been traditional in its early form. With the evolution of culture, economies and knowledge, tourism took a different from cold sustainable tourism with the aspect of well-planned tour, well-studied destination, and conservation of destination. There are factors that motivate the people to travel. The most common reason for the people to travel away from home are: first, they spend holidays, they visit friends or relatives, they attend business and professional engagement, to get health treatment, to undertake religious pilgrimage, and other personal motives. Traditional and niche tourism. The following table lists down a few points that differentiate traditional tourism from niche tourism. First, let's compare the traditional to niche. A traditional tourism, the tour is decided and planned a number of days or weeks ahead of the actual traveling day. While in niche tourism, the tour is decided and planned spontaneously as well as ahead of the date of traveling. Also, in the traditional tourism, the tour operators generally suggest famous places and there is comparatively less study done on the destination place. While in the niche tourism, in this tourism, local language preparation and the study of local culture and norm is recommended. Third example, in the traditional tourism, it generally takes the form of social activity being large number of people involved. In the niche tourism, it is a personal, family or friends activity being small number of people involved. Other example is, the tourist mainly desire for souvenirs and sightseeing. That is a traditional tourism. While in niche tourism, the tourist desire for experience and knowledge. And other is the tourist may or may not care for local economies, culture, and environment. While in the niche tourism, the tourists are keen to cooperate in keeping local economy, culture, and environment, thereby generating a positive experience for locals, the tourism business, and the tourism themselves. What is tourism management? It involves the management of multitude of activities such as studying tour destination, planning the tour, making travel arrangement, and providing accommodation. It is also involves in marketing efforts to attract tourists to travel to particular destinations. There is a subtle differences between just traveling and tourism. Traveling is going from the place of residence or work to another distance or a neighboring place by any means of transport. Routine communication can be termed as traveling. While in tourism Tourism is traveling with an objective. All tourism necessarily include travel, but all travel does not necessarily include tourism. We can say traveling is a subset of tourism. One similarity between travel and tourism is they both are temporary movements. In this module, we will be discussing the various types of tourism and their characteristics. Let's start with Masterism. Masterism involves the tourism of organized large group of people to special tourist location. It is a traditional way where the daily program is fixed by the tour organizer. It is socially active and the tourists generally desire for souvenir and sightseeing. For example, the religious places, theme parks, boat, cruise, resort towns, and also the Palawan trips. Second, we have alternative tourism. It includes individually organized tour to find first-hand information about a place, local culture, and environment. For example, biking tour planned by an individual while accommodation is catered for on the go. In alternative tourism, we have business, pleasure, nature, cultural, social, and in the business, it is touring for conducting a business transaction, attending business meetings, workshop, or conference. The objective of the business tourism is mainly professional. In the pleasure, it includes tourism for improving one's physical or spiritual well-being. For example, vacation at a yoga or rehabilitation center. In nature, it is tourism at places famous for pristine nature and serene beauty. The main objective is to experience and enjoy nature such as a farm and wildlife. Ecotourism is part of the nature tourism, and we all love nature. Cultural. This type of tourism has an objective of understanding the local history of the place, food, local production, and local culture. While in social, it includes tour conducted among relatives, friends, and others. Third, recreational tourism. It includes traveling to escape from the routine life. This is often done for enjoyment, amusement, or pleasure. For example, camping or beach visit. Fourth, active tourism. It is conducted with a clear objective such as climbing a mountain, touring around the world, or learning local culinary art languages. Sports tourism. It is a tourism for attending some sport events such as World Cup, cricket match, FIFA, or Olympics. Sixth is religious tourism. It involves traveling to places of religious significance, such as Vaishno Deville in Jammu Kashmir, and the Golden Temple of Amritsar in India, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, Bethlehem, and other such places. 7 is the health or medical tourism. This involves traveling to improve one's health. It is with objective of visiting weight loss camp, naturopathy center, and health resorts. 8. The adventure tourism. It involves tourism for adventurous activities such as rock climbing, bungee jumping, skydiving, hiking, horse riding, surfing, rafting, or skiing. There are also many factors that influence the running of the tourism industry. Some shows immediate effect, while there are also factors which affect in the long run. First, environment at destination. Tourism is in its best from when the destination boasts of conducive climate. It contrasts any undesired changes in the environment such as a high wind, flash floods, drought, and extreme climate can affect tourism adversely. Like for me, I don't like hot places, so when I traveled, I rarely go summer. Yes. Second, the economy of the country. When the country is undergoing economic turbulence and when people are facing unemployment issue, tourism is affected adversely. On the contrary, when the country's economy is doing well and people can afford to spend money on leisure tourism process. Third, historical or cultural importance of a destination. The place or destination of travel affect the tourism business to a great extent. If the destination is of great historical or cultural significance, then tourists will certainly like to visit the place for seeing monuments, castles, forts, ancient architecture, sculptures, caves, antique paintings and utensils, clothes, weapons, ornaments, and other allied heritage. For example, the world-famous places of historical and cultural importance are Taj Mahal, Pyramid of Giza, and the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. Fourth, research importance of destination. There are tourists who visit with the objective of studies and exploration. Need for research promote tourism. Archaeologists, geologists, oceanographers, biologists, and zoologists, architects, and people researching arts and culture seeks places that have a great significance in the field of research. Fifth, religious importance of destination. The places of religious importance or worship are always flooded with tourists. At these places, tourism is at its peak of particular time periods in a year. The tourists often go on pilgrimage to find inner peace and invoke blessings of the deities they worship and to cleanse their sins before death. For example, is Mecca, Bethlehem, and Kashi. 6. Technology. Internet has penetrated to most every corner of the world, which is very true. Tourists are enjoying the benefits of internet. While planning a tour, the tourists try to get the idea about the place they are going to visit, the quality of the amenities and service, and the attractions at the destination. After visiting destination, an experienced tourist share their opinions on the various platforms of the internet. There are types of tourists. So let's see what type of tourists are we. First is the budget traveler. There are economy-oriented tourists. Their touring decisions about places, traveling mode, and other related factors are largely dependent on their financial status. We have also the homebodies. They are mainly relaxed tourists. They do not get into adventure. The tourists aged about 45 to 50 years belong to this type. The busy professionals under 45 years old belong to this type. The moderates, they plan their tour ahead, have a high inclination towards tourism, but they do not get into sports or adventure activities. And the vacationers, they plan tour during vacations such as summer break or Christmas break. They're not always sure of where and why they wish to visit. So that are the types of tourists. Motivation of the tourist system from the domain of human psychology. It is the satisfaction forming factors. The factors of motivation can be characterized in two types. First is internal factors of motivation, and second is external factors of motivation. So let's discuss the internal factors of motivation. Internal factors of motivation is internal factors arouse, direct, and integrate a person's behavior and influence his decision for traveling. While external factors or external motives in tourism that can influence tourists and pull them toward a certain motivation and subsequent decisions. So let's discuss more about these motivation factors. Internal factors of motivation. Like what I said, internal factor arouse, direct, and integrate person's behavior and influence his decision for traveling. Other internal factors of motivation is intrinsic motivation. For many people, tourism is a way of satisfying their psychological needs such as traveling, performing leisure activities, exploring novelty and capabilities, self-expression and self-assurance, creativity, competition, need for relaxation, and belongingness. The intrinsic motivation pertains to assuring one's capabilities on different emotion front. rewards. Intrinsic motivation drives the tourist to opt for tourism for intangible rewards such as fun, assurance, and other emotional needs. The other intrinsic factors of motivations are the attitude of the tourist, the tourist's perception, the values or beliefs, and the personality of the tourist. While in the external factors of motivation, it can be influence the tourists and pull them toward a certain motivation and subsequent decision. Under external factors of motivation, we have extrinsic motivation, place of origin, family and age, cultural or social class, and the market. So now, let's go to the Maslow pyramid of motivation. Maslow pyramid of motivation, an American psychologist and professor of the 20th century, Abraham Maslow proposed a theory on the hierarchy of human need. It can be depicted as a model of 5 basic motivation needs any of human being has. And these needs are self-actualization, self-esteem needs, social needs, safety needs, and psychological needs. In the psychological or biological, people or us, human being, need for air, food, water, shelter, warmth, and sleep, which are required for the survival. The safety, we need for safety for harmful elements like freedom from fear, physical safety, economical safety, safety against accidents or their negative impacts. Safety may also manifest into security such as job security and financial security. We also have social need for having a family, need for intimacy, friends and social groups, need for belonging and being accepted and loved by others. Fourth is the self-esteem, need for feeling accepted and respected by others, need for recognition and attention from others. And lastly is the self-actualization. Self-actualization need to realize one's full potential. A human being requires to attain these needs after all above needs are satisfied. The pyramid helps us to understand the priorities of human in order for us to depict. As we can see, the tourism covers the bottom 4 levels of the triangle. Consumer behavior is one of the most researched areas in tourism. The studied why a tourist chosen a particular destination and what are the driving factors that influence his decision for traveling. Now we're going to factors affecting tourist behavior. The following factors immensely alter tourist behavior. We have geographical factor, social factor, the place of origin, tourism destination, and education of tourists. So, in the geographical factor, some physical factors like geographical and climatic conditions, facilities, and amenities available at the destination. Advertising and marketing conducted by tourism business and alter the decision of the making of the tourist. The social factor. A few social factors such as person's social network which provide first-hand information. Place of origin. There can be a broad spectrum of tourist behavior depending upon the place they belong to. Tourism destination. It is a major contributing factor altering tourist behavior. If a destination has all basic provisions such as electricity, water, clean surroundings, proper accessibility, amenities, and has its own significance, it's largely attract tourists. And lastly is the education of tourists. The more educated the tourist is, the wider range of choices, curiosity, and the knowledge of places he will have. These drives the decision making when it comes to choosing a destination. The Plugs model of tourist behavior. Plugs classify tourists into 3 categories described: allocentric, psychocentric and the mid-centric. The allocentric or the wanderers. Allocentric is a tourist who seek new experience and adventures in a wide range of activities. This person is outgoing and self-confident in behavior. An allocentric person prefers to fly and to explore new and unusual areas before others do so. Allocentric enjoy meeting people from foreign or different cultures. They prefer good hotels and food, but not necessarily modern or chain-type hotel. For a tour package, an allocentric would like to have the basics such as transportation and hotels, but not committed to a structured itinerary. They would rather have the freedom to explore an area, make their own arrangement, and choose a variety of activities and tourist attraction. Second, the psychocentric or the repeater. Psychocentric is a tourist falling in this category is usually non-adventurous. They prefer to return to familiar travel destinations where they can relax and know what type of food and activity to expect. Such tourists prefer to drive to destinations, stay in typical accommodation, and eat at a family-type restaurant. And the mid-centric or the combination. The mid-centric is the category of tourists covers the one who swing between the above said two types. So what type of traveler are you? Me, I am allocentric or I am the wanderer. I really love going to places with wide range of activities. I love meeting new people, sharing my culture, sharing what I know, and learning about their culture also. I am really an allocentric person. I am an allocentric traveler. So guys, that is the end of our module 1 and 2 for tour and travel management. I hope you learned a lot and see you on your next module. Thank you.